Okay, so I read chapter one of Ultra Learning, which basically talked about and gave examples of ultra learners. Some examples that it gave were him and his friends wanted to learn a language. They wanted to learn like Spanish or something. And so they decided to go into the country and for 3 months and commit to only ever speaking that language. So they couldn't speak any English, all they could speak was Spanish. And so by the end of their 3 months, they were able to pass like comprehension exams for Spanish. And so they did that every single country for a year. They went, not every single country, but they hopped every 3 months to a different country for a year and they learned 4 languages in 1 year. Whereas most people in school, they take 2 years of Spanish and they can't even order anything in Spanish at all. They can't hold a conversation. But what these ultra learners did is they fully submersed themselves in the topic and they made it impossible for them not to learn the language. Some other examples were this guy named Eric Boron who wanted to develop a game. And for games, obviously there's so many aspects that go into a game. You have the music, you have the visuals, you have the actual software behind the game, you have the advertising, there's like a whole variety of things that go into building a game. And so most game development companies or people like have to hire like at least a couple to 100 different people to work on different parts of the game. But Eric Barone, he wanted to build it all by himself because he had a specific vision that he knew no one else would be able to see. And so he basically decided that he was going to build the game all on his own. Nobody else helped him. He worked at a movie theater to make money and worked on it for 5 years, learning all the different skills, like the art skills, the music skills, like everything he needed to know to produce the game that he wanted to produce. And by the end of the 5 years, he produced his game, and his game became top 30 on the gaming section of Forbes. So Bro made a lot of money. He made like millions of dollars off of it very quickly and was rated like it's astounding that he was able to do that with it just being him. And so he gave a couple other examples too about people who fully submerged themselves and put their full effort into learning a certain subject. Like one guy took an MIT course in a year, whereas it takes most people 4 years. And he did it all on his own from his own house, just basically finding what he could. So they make it basically impossible to lose. They put all their effort into learning a subject as quickly as they can, as efficiently as they can. Oh, another one too was this guy wanted to be on the game Jeopardy and he wanted to win it. And he'd never been on it before. And so his strategy was to basically build a website and he compiled all the questions and answers that Jeopardy had ever asked for and he like inputted them in different categories like music questions, history questions, all the different categories. And he started to find ways to memorize those questions. And then he started to see patterns of what Jeopardy would ask. They would ask questions that weren't so factual as much as they were entertaining because people are there to watch this show Jeopardy, and if they're asking boring questions, nobody's going to watch. So he started to realize that it wasn't exactly about what you know, it just meant you have to know the right stuff. And so he started to become strategic in what he learned, and when he went on Jeopardy, he won it exactly like he said he would. And so basically, the ultra learning is all about finding strategies that help you learn what you want to learn. And the reason why it works is because you want to learn it and you have a drive to actually learn it. So, like for us as remote closers, we have a drive to become good at what we do. And so it's easy for us to spend hours and hours working on remote closing and sales because we genuinely enjoy it and we're trying to find ways to learn as much as we humanly possibly can. So basically, chapter one was very good. I'm excited for chapter two because it's going to talk about why ultra learning is important and why it's good and how you can kind of learn the habits of it. So exciting stuff.